Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be checking out the Logitech Signature K650 keyboard. This here is a mid-tier keyboard from Logitech. It's made of recycled plastics and it's also water resistant. You can get it in this dark graphite color, which is made up of 28% recycled plastic material, or the white version, which is made up of 21% recycled plastic material. So let's talk about the design of this keyboard. It's going to be made up fully of plastic pretty much, and if you look closely at the plastic, it's going to have like a grainy finish to it. And then the integrated wrist rest isn't going to be made of plastic, but instead it's going to have this rubberized finish with this little X pattern. It might be a little hard to see on camera, but it does add that more premium look and feel to it. Instead of just like a simple rubber finish, this one has that cool texture. And if we take a look at the top of the keyboard, you can see there are these integrated media control buttons, which is going to be like skip the track, mute, volume adjusting, and they're going to be made up of plastic. Logitech also included some media control buttons on the keyboard, and they're going to be browser control buttons, so you can do things like open, close tabs, you can go back, forward, refresh. I do like these touches. Instead of actually clicking with your mouse, you just move your finger over on your keyboard, and then it's going to create that more seamless experience. So let's talk about the key switches on the keyboard a little bit here. So the key switches, unlike the media buttons, are going to be much quieter. And here's a quick little click test for you guys to hear what it actually sounds like. So you can see that it does have a little bit of sound to it. Not exactly the quietest thing, but much quieter than the media buttons at the top. And when I actually type on this thing, it does give me that like Windows 95 vibe back when they had those like old school 90s keyboards. So it's not going to have like a scissor switch. It's going to be made of rubber dome switches. Now the keycaps themselves, they are going to be concave, so your fingers can fit more comfortably inside of each key. And the letters and the icons on every key are going to be printed on the keys, so I expect these to wear out within a year or so. So not exactly the best decision from Logitech, but it is what it is. So let's move down to the integrated wrist rest. I did mention that I do like the texture earlier and it's nice, but the only issue I have with it is it feels a little bit on the short side. So when my hands are actually on the keyboard typing, I feel like they don't fully fit on there. I have to kind of like claw my fingers a little bit in order for them to fit properly. I can make my hands fit properly on this keyboard, but they're going to go past the wrist rest. So I do wish they made the wrist rest a little bit longer. So if you're someone with smaller hands, I think it'll be fine. But if you have mid or larger sized hands, this wrist rest isn't really going to be super doable just because how short it is. So if we move over to the back of the keyboard, you can see that there are going to be grips on every corner of the keyboard, which is going to provide more stability when actually typing. And then there's also going to be adjustable legs, and these adjustable legs have two different height levels you can set them to. So I like that Logitech gave you the option for two. That way you can have a more ergonomic typing experience based on what you prefer. And on the back, there's also going to be a storage compartment where the batteries live, and it's going to be using two AA batteries. Now these batteries are going to last you for up to 36 months, or at least that's what it says on Logitech's website, which is around 3 years. And I think it's going to vary based on how often you use this keyboard. And then in the battery compartment, you're also going to notice that there is the USB bolt dongle, and that dongle is going to be useful if you want to connect via USB instead of Bluetooth, which is the two different connection options you have with this keyboard. Now if you use Bluetooth, it's going to be using Bluetooth 5.1, and if you use the dongle, it's going to be using Logitech's Bolt software, which is supposedly faster and quicker, but honestly, this isn't really like a performance type of keyboard, so the speed and the delay, you most likely won't notice it. So is this keyboard actually worth getting for the $50 price mark? I mean, if you're okay with all of the features it has to offer, I guess it's okay, but in my opinion, I think there's a lot more better options for the $50 price mark, but they're not going to be the Logitech brand. A good alternative to this keyboard would be the Spotler keyboard, and that one is $10 cheaper than this one. In my opinion, the build quality is better, it has more features to offer, and I think it personally looks better than this thing here. This thing kind of feels old school to me personally. I'm not trying to bash the keyboard, just not my preference. It doesn't feel very modern. It feels kind of bubbly and old school. But the other keyboard that I'm going to leave down in the description below from Spotler, I think you should check that one out, and maybe you'll like that one more than this one. So with that being said, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, and don't forget to leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.